Amber Smith is suing her sister, Vanessa Franks, for selling her cockatoo and keeping the proceeds.
Miss Smith, this is your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this case is not going to take long, Bird. Don't get comfortable, because I quite frankly don't understand what the defense is in this case. You sold your sister a bird, an exotic bird. What kind of bird was it?
She was a Moluccan cockatoo.
And you charged her how much for the bird?
Only $700 for the bird in the cage, which is normally worth a lot more.
Please. That's not complicated. You charged her $700.
Yes.
And she was going to pay you.
Yes.
Little bits. And she paid you some. How much did she pay you?
She paid me $100 in November.
And then she stopped making payments?
Yes.
Your sister says that you were supposed to come and get the bird because her daughter had some sort of an illness, that she couldn't be in the house with the bird. She told you to come and get the bird. You didn't come and get the bird, so she sold it.
Yes, ma'am.
And sold it for?
$500.
$500. And you took the $500 and you?
Put it in the bank.
That's my question, Miss Franks. If you sold the bird,
yes, ma'am,
you think you're entitled to sell the bird and keep the money instead of paying your sister for the bird?
Okay, in November, my daughter's lungs bled in November of 2004. I called my sister on the phone, stated to her, I'm either going to have to sell this bird or you can have the bird back. She said, we want the bird back, don't sell the bird. They came for Thanksgiving. You taking the bird? No, we're not taking the bird. Christmas, are you taking the bird?
Miss Franks, is what you're telling me, just put your hand down. So what you're telling me that your daughter's lungs were bleeding because of the bird.
Right.
And you kept the bird in your house between November, when your daughter was diagnosed with this illness?
No, she's been diagnosed since birth.
Well, between the time you were told to get rid of the bird in November and you kept the bird till Christmas?
The bird was actually in my home until right at the beginning of May.
What town do you live in?
Milledgeville, Georgia.
Anywhere in the state of Georgia, do they have an animal rescue?
Not where I live, no.
I don't care where you live or not. They do have trees in Georgia, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, if my child had bleeding lungs, and doctor told me in November that I had to get rid of this bird because this bird was causing my child's lungs to bleed, and if I couldn't find someone to take that bird, it is warm in Georgia, isn't it?
For part of the year, yes.
Well, I would hope that it was the right part of the year, because that window would be open, that bird would be gone. Madam, I don't understand where you're coming from. You're told that your daughter's lungs are bleeding because of this bird. And you keep the bird November, December, January, February, March, April, May! Where is your head?
She's my sister at the same time.
Please don't speak. Okay. Listen to me, Miss Smith.
Yes.
Your sister acknowledges that she told you she was going to give you $700 for the bird.
Yes.
I haven't heard anything cogent as to why she should be able to sell a bird that she didn't pay for and not pay for it. Anybody hear a reason? Hearing none? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $600. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
19-year-old Kelsey Stewart is suing her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Joshua Marriott, for the cost of a bass guitar. Kelsey says Joshua sold it without her permission.
Ms. Stewart, according to what I read in your complaint, you and the defendant were an item some time ago, and while you were together, you loaned him a precious guitar.
Yes.
That had been given to you. You'll explain to me why it's so sentimental. You gave it to Mr. Marriott to use, according to him, in his band. And then you broke up. According to him, this was a gift. He had no use for it after a period of time. And then it was sold. Not by him, but by his mother. Where did you get this guitar?
My father had given me the guitar for a Christmas present before he passed away in 2001.
So it was sentimental for you?
Yes, it was very.
And when did your father pass away?
He passed away 5 months later.
Why did he give you a guitar?
He, for some reason, decided that I was going to play bass guitar, so he finally just bought one for me.
Did you learn?
No, he passed away before I could get lessons.
How come you gave it to him?
Lack of judgment. I shouldn't have.
Tell me when you gave it to him.
The following year.
When in 2002?
May.
Summer, fall, winter, or spring?
Spring.
And when did you break up with him?
We had broken up before then, actually.
Well, then why transfer this sentimental guitar to someone with whom you no longer had a relationship?
We were still friends at the time, and we were still on good terms. Like I said, better lack of judgment.
Well, tell me about when you turned it over to him. I want to hear.
He was at his house. I drove with my current boyfriend to drop it off.
Why would you do that?
He asked if he could loan the guitar. We had actually discussed it before when we were dating, and so it came up as, remember when you said I could borrow the guitar? And he stated that he needed it to go on tour with his band, and I said that I would loan it to him until I needed it back.
When did you think you were going to need it back?
I wasn't sure.
Did you ask to borrow the guitar for the group to go on tour?
Yes, I did. And the band didn't end up going on tour, and after that I just put it in my garage and it just sat there. And I didn't hear from her for 2 years.
That's not true.
Well, when was the next time you contacted him about your guitar?
I was unable to get a hold of him for about a few months, and then before I left, I found him online again.
Well, just a second. You drove it over to his house, you said. Did he move?
Yes, he did.
No forwarding address?
He would not take my phone calls, and so the only way I was able to contact him was online. And I contacted him, and I said I was moving to San Diego, and I was going to need the guitar back to take with me. He said it was in storage and that it would be fine and it would be returned, no questions asked.
When was this?
September of 2003.
Did you have it in storage?
Yes, I did.
Could you stand up? You don't need anything to hold on to, right? When she contacted you and you said it was in storage, you were telling her the truth.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Well, was it in storage or wasn't it in storage?
It was in storage, and then my mother sold it.
So this wasn't a couple of years later. This was a year later, September of 2003, when she contacted you and you told her it's in storage, you can have it back, no problem. So you were lying.
I actually contacted her, which is the funny thing, because I found her on a site called MySpace. And if I would have known that she would have attacked me on the internet for this guitar.
Your Honor, that was 2 years later.
When she contacted you and said, I'm moving to San Diego.
She told me that she was in San Diego when she contacted me. I was also looking for her, too.
Why were you looking for her?
So I could give it back to her before my mom was going to sell it.
Did your mother have permission to sell it?
Yes, she did.
She had your permission to sell it?
Yes, because
How big is this bass guitar?
Like this.
Where were you living and where was your mother living?
I was living in Campbell with my grandparents, and my mother was living in Gilroy.
Why couldn't you take the guitar with you?
Because I kept on moving around too myself, and I wasn't going to carry someone else's belongings with me.
Oh. Did you have any clue that this was a gift from her father?
No, I did not.
Is that right?
No, he would have known. It was a very sentimental thing, and I would have told him.
Yeah, I assume you would have told him.
If it was so sentimental, why would you let me borrow it?
Like I said, it was
Well, that's a good question. You want to know why? Because sometimes people in affairs of the heart behave irrationally. I tell you this for sure, Mr. Marriott, I wouldn't have loaned you the guitar. What kind of a guitar was it?
It was an Ibanez bass guitar.
And how much will it cost you to replace it?
$300.
You have any papers to prove that?
Yes, I do.
Let me see. Is this a picture of the guitar?
Yeah, but it was red.
It was not red.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't quite interested in the color, but that's what it looks like.
Yes.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Goodbye, good luck, have a happy life. This one doesn't have any sentimental value, but at least you have it. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
19-year-old Kelsey Stewart is suing her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Joshua Marriott, for the cost of a bass guitar. Kelsey says Joshua sold it without her permission.
Ms. Stewart, according to what I read in your complaint, you and the defendant were an item some time ago, and while you were together, you loaned him a precious guitar.
Yes.
That had been given to you. You'll explain to me why it's so sentimental. You gave it to Mr. Marriott to use, according to him, in his band. And then you broke up. According to him, this was a gift. He had no use for it after a period of time. And then it was sold. Not by him, but by his mother. Where did you get this guitar?
My father had given me the guitar for a Christmas present before
When?
he passed away in 2001.
So it was sentimental for you?
Yes, it was very.
And when did your father pass away?
He passed away 5 months later.
Why did he give you a guitar?
He, for some reason, decided that I was going to play bass guitar, so he finally just bought one for me.
Did you learn?
No, he passed away before I could get lessons.
How come you gave it to him?
Lack of judgment. I shouldn't have.
Tell me when you gave it to him.
The following year.
When in 2002?
May.
Summer, fall, winter, or spring?
Spring.
And when did you break up with him?
We had broken up before then, actually.
Well, then why transfer this sentimental guitar to someone with whom you no longer had a relationship?
We were still friends at the time, and we were still on good terms. Like I said, better lack of judgment.
Well, tell me about when you turned it over to him. I want to hear.
He was at his house. I drove with my current boyfriend to drop it off.
Why would you do that?
He asked if he could loan the guitar. We had actually discussed it before when we were dating, and so it came up as, remember when you said I could borrow the guitar? And he stated that he needed it to go on tour with his band, and I said that I would loan it to him until I needed it back.
When did you think you were going to need it back?
I wasn't sure.
Did you ask to borrow the guitar for the group to go on tour?
Yes, I did. And the band didn't end up going on tour. And after that, I just put it in my garage, and it just sat there. And I didn't hear from her for 2 years.
That's not true.
Well, when was the next time you contacted him about your guitar?
I was unable to get a hold of him for about a few months, and then before I left, I found him online again.
Well, just a second. You drove it over to his house, you said. Did he move?
Yes, he did.
No forwarding address.
He would not take my phone calls, and so the only way I was able to contact him was online. And I contacted him, and I said I was moving to San Diego, and I was going to need the guitar back to take with me. He said it was in storage and that it would be fine, and it would be returned, no questions asked.
When was this?
September of 2003.
Did you have it in storage?
Yes, I did.
Could you stand up? You don't need anything to hold on to, right? When she contacted you and you said it was in storage, you were telling her the truth.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Well, was it in storage or wasn't it in storage?
It was in storage, and then my mother sold it.
So this wasn't a couple of years later. This was a year later, September of 2003, when she contacted you and you told her it's in storage, you can have it back, no problem. So you were lying.
I actually contacted her, which is the funny thing, because I found her on a site called MySpace. And if I would have known that she would have attacked me on the internet for this guitar.
Your Honor, that was 2 years later.
When she contacted you and said, I'm moving to San Diego.
She told me that she was in San Diego when she contacted me. I was also looking for her, too.
Why were you looking for her?
So I could give it back to her before my mom was going to sell it.
Did your mother have permission to sell it?
Yes, she did.
She had your permission to sell it?
Yes, because
How big is this bass guitar?
Like this.
Where were you living, and where was your mother living?
I was living in Campbell with my grandparents, and my mother was living in Gilroy.
Why couldn't you take the guitar with you?
Because I kept on moving around to myself, and I wasn't going to carry someone else's belongings with me.
Oh. Did you have any clue that this was a gift from her father?
No, I did not.
Is that right?
No, he would have known. It was a very sentimental thing, and I would have told him.
Yeah, I assume you would have told him.
If it was so sentimental, why would you let me borrow it?
Like I said, it was
Well,
a lack
that's
of
a good
judgment.
question. You want to know why? Because sometimes people in affairs of the heart behave irrationally. I tell you this for sure, Mr. Marriott, I wouldn't have loaned you the guitar. What kind of a guitar was it?
It was an Ibanez bass guitar.
And how much will it cost you to replace it?
$300.
You have any papers to prove that?
Yes, I do.
Let me see. Is this a picture of the guitar?
Yeah, but it was red.
It was not red.
Yes, it was.
Wasn't quite interested in the color, but that's what it looks like.
Yes.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. Goodbye, good luck, have a happy life. This one doesn't have any sentimental value, but at least you have it. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
24-year-old Cherie Peterson is suing her former friend, Kevin Outlaw, for a loan to buy a 1999 Lexus. Kevin says Cherie took the car back.
Ms. Peterson, you worked with the defendant in the same place?
Yes.
Where was that?
UC Davis Medical Center.
What did you do there?
I do clerical work mostly. We actually still work together, but at the time that everything started, we worked more closely together in the file room, and now I'm doing more of new patient appointment.
Oh, God, that was a long answer. Mr. Outlaw, according to what I read in Ms. Peterson's complaint, she was a very good friend to you. You needed a car. You had miserable credit, so you couldn't get a car loan on your own. And you asked her if she would co-sign a car loan for you with the understanding that in 6 months' time, you would be working on your credit to get it back up to snuff, and you would refinance the car, getting her name off the loan. That was your agreement. Is that right?
Yes.
In exchange for that, you were going to do what?
Well, I gave her $200 to do
For her trouble.
Yes.
And she accepted the $200, and you went down to the car dealership where you had already picked out the car?
Yes, ma'am.
When you got there, according to Miss Peterson, they said, well, she can't just be a co-signer on this loan because it would be much better and your payments would be much less if the title to the car was in her name and all the payments in her name because your credit was really bad, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So Miss Peterson said, okay, you know, it's just going to be for 6 months, right?
Right.
So she allowed her name to be put down on the car, title in her name, and then 6 months go by and you don't get the car out of her name and the loan, right?
Yes.
Why not?
Well, at the time, Your Honor, unfortunately, a couple weeks after I got the car, I went out on medical leave. I had a torn knee tendon in my knee, so I was off for a month. And when I came back, at the time, I was working 2 jobs. I was a bartender also, part-time. So I lost my job when I came back. They say I was, you know, overworked, I guess. Also, the car had to be put into the shop a few times. I had to get some repairs done on the car.
None of this is Miss Peterson's fault.
That's right.
This is all your bad luck.
Yes.
Keep going.
Okay, so the second income is gone, so I've had to get the repairs done on the car, which really cost me a lot. So I wasn't able to work on my credit like I was supposed to.
And you had creditors because why, sir? Because you didn't pay your bills?
Bad decisions, yes.
Bad decisions isn't the reason for bad credit. You didn't pay your bills.
Okay.
And how many people did you stiff? How many credit card companies did you stiff?
Credit cards are probably 2.
In what amount, sir?
I think one was 600 and something, and I can't really remember the other one.
Anybody else?
Maybe some phone bills, cable bills.
Phone, cable, credit cards. Also, not Miss Peterson's fault, is that correct?
Correct.
So this is what happened. After the 6 months, Miss Peterson said, I want my name off of this loan. This was our agreement. And she said, if you don't get my name off of this loan, I'm taking the car back, right?
Correct.
And you didn't get a loan, and she took the car back, right?
Correct.
And she sold it, correct?
Correct.
And there was a shortfall on the loan,
Correct.
which you want him to pay.
Correct.
I'll hear you.
Well, I don't understand how I owe, Your Honor. I mean, I held up my end of the bargain as far as the 6 months.
No, you didn't.
I didn't?
No, you didn't. Your contract with her, 6 months' time, you would get this loan out of her name.
We don't have a written contract.
You don't have to have a written contract. You've just testified so that that was your contract with her. In exchange for $200 for 6 months, she would allow her name to be used on this loan, and you agreed contractually with her that within 6 months' time, that loan would be out of her name. You failed to fulfill your obligation. Your obligation was to make the payments and get her name off that car loan so that she didn't have to hook her star to your galaxy because you are an accident looking to happen. How much was the shortfall on the car?
I had to come up with about $5,500.
Show me.
Here's the bill of sale and also what I had to come up with. The receipt shows $5,517, I think, and the other is the bill of sale, which the person bought the car for $14,000, and I owed $19,500.
Miss Peterson, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Did you graduate from college?
Yep.
You didn't take a course in practical skills.
I didn't take logic, no.
Never do this again.
I won't. I've learned a big
For the
lesson.
boyfriend, for the husband, for your cousin, nobody.
I've learned.
Have you?
Yes. About $5,000 worth of learning.
That's a lot of saving.
Yeah.
Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. You owe her the money.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
27-year-old car parents, Harris and Judy Taub, are suing their neighbors, 13-year-old Kimberly Gilmer and her mother, Martha, for car repair bills.
Mr. and Mrs. Taub, and I assume this is your daughter,
Right.
who, according to your complaint, is entering law school.
I just finished law school, actually. and
Just
took the
finished
bar.
law school.
Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck. According to your complaint, you purchased this car for her. You a neighbor of the defendants? Do you live across the street from each other, or was she just visiting a neighbor?
I was visiting.
She was visiting a neighbor of yours, and her daughter got into her car and either backed or moved forward, and her car hit your car, causing some damage. Do you have pictures of the damage?
We do.
I'd like to see it, please. Where did you go to law school, Miss Taub?
Golden Gate University in San Francisco.
Oh, this is the tire on the back. I couldn't figure out what it was. It looked like a satellite.
It's a Honda 2001 SUV with a spare tire that's on the back of the tail.
Now I got it. How old are you?
I just turned 13.
When did this happen?
August 14th.
What time of the day or evening did you go out and get into this car?
Like the afternoon.
Whose car did you get into?
My mom's.
Why?
Because we were about to go home.
Who gave you the keys to the car?
My mom's purse was in my grandma's house, and I knew she would forget it, so I had her purse on my shoulder.
So you had your mother's purse on your shoulder. You took the keys?
Yes.
Why did you start the car?
Because it was a really hot day, and I wanted to turn the air conditioning on so it would get cool in the car when we were driving.
But you hit their car. How did that happen?
Because I didn't know the car was in gear, and I didn't know it would move, and when I put the keys in the ignition and turned it, it jumped forward because the car was in, or lunged forward because the car was in gear.
Tell me your first name.
Kimberly.
Have you ever put the key in the car before? Kimberly? Have you
yeah.
ever... Where were you when you put the key in the car before?
The key in my mom's car or someone else's car?
In your mom. Let's try your mom's car.
At our house, just putting them in.
For what reason?
I don't know. Just because.
Where did you get the keys from when you just because put it in the ignition?
From in her car, because she always puts her purse in the car.
Has your mother ever said to you, don't take the keys out of my car and don't start the car?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
So why do you do it?
Because I didn't listen to her.
Right. So now, Kimberly, your mom gave you her pocketbook or you took it?
I took it.
And did you tell her you were going outside to wait for her?
Well, we all went outside. Me and my older sister, her boyfriend, and my mom.
So your mother saw that you had her pocketbook?
I don't know if she saw I had it, but...
Well, she didn't leave her pocketbook in the house, did she? You were all getting ready to go. Don't speak to her. So, Kimberly, these people are in their house not doing anything. Their car is sitting on the street in a legally parked space, and you get in the car, and you start the car, and you lunge forward, and you damage their car. Who do you think is responsible?
Me.
Great!
But...
Just a second. Great. Now I'll hear your butt.
But I didn't, it's not like I purposely tried to hit their car.
That's why they call it an accident.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it?
Mine.
Right. And if you were an adult, you would have to pay for it, right?
Right.
Because it was an accident that was your fault. Even though it wasn't purposeful, you didn't get into the car with a view towards damaging somebody else's property. That's why we call it an accident. But since you're 12 and not responsible under the law, so I can't make a judgment against you, I have to make a judgment against you. Right? Perfect. And we understand each other. How much did it cost to fix it?
Well, we haven't gotten it fixed yet.
What's your estimate?
$945, close to $950.
$945. Yeah. How many estimates do you have?
We have two. The one I like, though, the brunt of the damage was done on this wheel cover. It's cockeyed. And what the mechanic said to me made sense.
Don't tell me what the mechanic said to you. Just let me see the two estimates.
Sure. Judge Judy, can I tell you how it really happened?
Sure.
Are you interested? Okay.
Sure, I am interested. Okay. Always interested if somebody's not telling me the truth.
Okay. Well, I was reading. It was around
I don't care what you were doing.
5 o'clock. Quiet. I hear noise outside. Like, I thought they were drunken kids outside before I even saw them, just by the noise element and how they were giggling and laughing.
Let's go. I have other things to do today.
And I see the two kids. They talk to a fella, and I figured, well, you can't stop kids from being on the street. I went back to read a book. About a minute later, I looked out again. I just got a gut feeling nothing good was going to come of this. I see her get into the car, sans pocketbook, no pocketbook. And the other, her girlfriend, was egging her on. And they were both laughing. What do you mean? Don't tell me she was egging her on. What did she say? Do it. You're not going to do it. Do it. You're not going to do it. I know you're not going to do it. And they were both laughing. I mean, really laughing. And now I'm glued to the window because this car it doesn't even have a paint job. It's like a black matte primer.
I got it.
And then she talked to a fella in a truck. I think maybe she's 16, so I thought she's going to back out and take off.
Whatever.
But what she did was put it in gear and accelerate. It was such a loud noise.
She didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. She didn't mean to hurt your car. She didn't mean to hurt her mother's car. She had no business being in a car. She had no business being in possession of the car keys.
Right.
Her mother's statement is she has trouble with her. She can't watch her 24/7, therefore it's not her fault. That's pretty much what you said in your statement. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, as between you and these poor people, You're responsible for the damage your daughter does. And if I were you, I'd have her do a whole bunch of something, babysitting, whatever it is.
I already do babysit.
Well, what do you do with the money that you make from babysitting?
Use it, like go to the mall with my friends.
Well, why don't you give it to your mother so that you can help pay for this property damage that you caused? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $742.47, which is the amount of the lower estimate. That's all. Step out. Take responsibility for what you do. That's all.
Thank you.
Talent agent Theolani DeGuire is suing the owner of a Polynesian dance company, 28-year-old Lauren Michaels, for non-payment of services rendered.
Miss Michaels, what kind of work do you do?
I have a Polynesian entertainment company.
And your company provides Polynesian entertainment for whom?
For clients, shows.
What kind of show did you hire people for that is involved in this case?
A car show.
Had you dealt with Miss DeGuire before?
No, I haven't.
How did you find her?
I went on the internet. I was in a position where I needed one more act, and it was like the night before.
So you needed another act for the car show. You found her ad on the internet.
Actually, no. I found someone else's ad, and they said, we don't do any last-minute gigs like this, and here's her number.
Fine. This is what the situation is. You contacted her, and she was to provide you with 2 or 3 young women who were going to dance at this car show. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And the agreed-upon fee was $300.
That's correct.
So far? That's correct. Hold up.
3 girls.
Okay. These are 2 of the 3 girls?
Yes, it is.
And they performed?
Yes, they did.
Miss Michaels, according to your complaint, gave the girls $200.
Yes, she gave them $200.
Check for $200. And then she put a stop payment on that check.
Yes, she did.
Now, Miss Michaels, you're going to tell me why you put a stop payment on that check.
Okay. There was a lot of broken agreements. They were supposed to meet me at 4:30. They showed up 3.5 hours late. 5 minutes before the show time.
Yes.
They said they're going to let me choose between 2 to 3 costumes. And I didn't have that opportunity. They're still cutting.
So why don't you send them home when they got there 5 minutes before the event?
Because I wanted to fulfill my commitment.
So if you wanted to fulfill your commitment, then you let them perform, right? That's why you didn't send them home. What I'm asking you is why you stopped payment on the check. And I haven't heard anything yet.
Because when I saw the videotape afterwards of what was promised for a professional show, because I have act number 1, which is my group, which is a professional act, and what was promised for a professional show and matching costumes and all of that, I'm backstage with my girls. They're going on.
So what you're telling me is you weren't satisfied with the performance?
Not at all.
Good. Listen to me very carefully, madam. I want you to think about you taking several of your clients into a restaurant, and you have a reservation for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock comes and goes, and they don't seat you. They say, we're not going to be able to seat you until 9 o'clock. Look at me. So you decide to wait. You don't say to your friends, we're going to go to a different restaurant. You decide to wait. And you wait till 9 o'clock, and then you sat down to eat. And you eat, and you really don't like the food. You finish whatever you finish. You have dessert, you have coffee, bill comes, you pay it. And then you call your credit card company and say, I want to stop payment on this check because I didn't like my dinner. You think that's reasonable? If you waited until the last minute to book another act and you needed another act, I'm speaking.
Okay.
And these people show up and they hadn't fulfilled, according to you, their agreement, then you say to them, ladies, go home.
Yes.
I'm not going to potentially embarrass myself by putting on an unknown. What you can't do, Miss Michaels, is put the act on and then say, I didn't like them, and I'm not going to pay you.
I never said that I wasn't going to pay them.
Of course you did. You stopped payment on the check.
I stopped payment. We spoke, and I said, whatever out-of-pocket expense that you had to pay the girls, I will give that to you, and that wasn't satisfactory to her.
It's not satisfactory. You had an agreed price. The agreed price was $300. Your choice was, when they were late, to send them home. Because it wasn't just that they were late. If they were late and wonderful, you wouldn't have had a problem. But you didn't know these people. You didn't know whether they could dance. You didn't know whether they could sing. You didn't know whether they had nice costumes. Yeah, you didn't know anything about them.
I made a poor judgment.
You did.
Yes.
And that's what business is all about. You make a poor judgment and you learn from your mistakes. You try to book an act at the last minute and you get people. Where are you from?
Moreno Valley.
You're not from Hawaii, are you?
No.
Not from French Polynesia, are you? And where are you from?
Corona.
Corona. That's not in Polynesia, is it?
No. She's Hawaiian.
Shh. I don't care whether she's Hawaiian or Yiddish. She's not French Polynesian. You had a contract. If she is not fulfilling the contract by arriving at an appropriate time and giving you an opportunity to screen the talent, send them home. You can't use them and then decide you didn't like the meal. Do I make myself clear? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all.
You may step out.
Talent agent Theolani DeGuire is suing the owner of a Polynesian dance company, 28-year-old Lauren Michaels, for non-payment of services rendered.
Miss Michaels, what kind of work do you do?
I have a Polynesian entertainment company.
And your company provides Polynesian entertainment for whom?
For clients, shows.
What kind of show did you hire people for that is involved in this case?
A car show.
Had you dealt with Miss DeGuire before?
No, I haven't.
How did you find her?
I went on the internet. I was in a position where I needed one more act, and it was like the night before.
So you needed another act for the car show. You found her ad on the internet.
Actually, no. I found someone else's ad, and they said, we don't do any last-minute gigs like this, and here's her number.
Fine. This is what the situation is. You contacted her, and she was to provide you with 2 or 3 young women who were going to dance at this car show. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And the agreed-upon fee was $300.
That's correct.
So far? That's correct. Hold up.
3 girls.
Okay. These are 2 of the 3 girls?
Yes, it is.
And they performed?
Yes, they did.
Ms. Michaels, according to your complaint, gave the girls $200.
Yes, she gave them $200.
Check for $200. And then she put a stop payment on that check.
Yes, she did.
Now, Ms. Michaels, you're going to tell me why you put a stop payment on that check.
Okay. There was a lot of broken agreements. They were supposed to meet me at 4:30. They showed up 3.5 hours late. 5 minutes before the show time.
Yes.
They said they're going to let me choose between 2 to 3 costumes. And I didn't have that opportunity. They're still cutting
So why don't you send them home when they got there 5 minutes before the event?
Because I wanted to fulfill my commitment.
So if you wanted to fulfill your commitment, then you let them perform, right? That's why you didn't send them home. What I'm asking you is why you stopped payment on the check. And I haven't heard anything yet.
Because when I saw the videotape afterwards of what was promised for a professional show, because I have act number 1, which is my group, which is a professional act, and what was promised for a professional show and matching costumes and all of that, I'm backstage with my girls. They're going on.
So what you're telling me is you weren't satisfied with the performance?
Not at all.
Good. Listen to me very carefully, madam. I want you to think about you taking several of your clients into a restaurant, and you have a reservation for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock comes and goes, and they don't seat you. They say, we're not going to be able to seat you until 9 o'clock. Look at me. So you decide to wait. You don't say to your friends, we're going to go to a different restaurant. You decide to wait. And you wait till 9 o'clock, and then you sat down to eat. And you eat, and you really don't like the food. You finish whatever you finish. You have dessert, you have coffee, bill comes, you pay it. And then you call your credit card company and say, I want to stop payment on this check because I didn't like my dinner. You think that's reasonable? If you waited until the last minute to book another act and you needed another act, I'm speaking.
Okay.
And these people show up and they hadn't fulfilled, according to you, their agreement, then you say to them, ladies, go home.
Yes.
I'm not going to potentially embarrass myself by putting on an unknown. What you can't do, Miss Michaels, is put the act on and then say, I didn't like them, and I'm not going to pay you.
I never said that I wasn't going to pay them.
Of course you did. You stopped payment on the check.
I stopped payment. We spoke, and I said, whatever out-of-pocket expense that you had to pay the girls, I will give that to you, and that wasn't satisfactory to her.
It's not satisfactory. You had an agreed price. The agreed price was $300. Your choice was, when they were late, to send them home. Because it wasn't just that they were late. If they were late and wonderful, you wouldn't have had a problem. But you didn't know these people. You didn't know whether they could dance. You didn't know whether they could sing. You didn't know whether they had nice costumes. Yeah, you didn't know anything about them.
I made a poor judgment.
You did.
Yes.
And that's what business is all about. You make a poor judgment and you learn from your mistakes. You try to book an act at the last minute and you get people. Where are you from?
Moreno Valley.
You're not from Hawaii, are you?
No.
You're not from French Polynesia, are you? And where are you from?
Corona.
Corona. That's not in Polynesia, is it?
No. She's Hawaiian.
Shh. I don't care whether she's Hawaiian or Yiddish. She's not French Polynesian. You had a contract. If she is not fulfilling the contract by arriving at an appropriate time and giving you an opportunity to screen the talent, send them home. You can't use them and then decide you didn't like the meal. Do I make myself clear? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all.
You may step out.
21-year-old child care provider Amy Helsher is suing former client, 20-year-old Heather McGlenn, for breaking their contract. Heather says Amy is a negligent caregiver.
Miss Helsher, how old are you?
21.
You run a daycare center?
Yes, ma'am.
For how many children?
I'm licensed for 10 with 2 children under the age of 2.
Who works in your daycare center?
Just myself.
And 10 children?
I don't have 10. Right now I currently watch 5 with my 2 children.
7 children. How old are they?
2 3-year-olds and a 9-month-old, a 4-month-old, and then my 2 children.
And how old are your 2 children?
19 months and 4 months.
And who is this?
My husband.
It is your complaint that Miss McGlenn, who had a child in your daycare, took her child out of daycare without giving you 2 weeks' notice.
Right.
She has what appears to me to be a very good reason why she wouldn't give you 2 weeks' notice. In addition to the 2 weeks' notice, you claim that her child called your daycare.
Yes.
And you want her to pay the damage to the daycare. You also want her to pay late fees for not giving you the 2 weeks' notice. I'm absolutely amazed that you're here. Because according to what I read, Miss Helsher?
Yes.
Her baby, who's how old?
2 years old.
2 years old. The property that the baby damaged was some sort of a disc?
A computer disc.
That the baby put in a paper shredder.
Yes.
A paper shredder that was exposed so that the 2-year-old could get it while nobody was watching him. Okay, why don't you tell me how a 2-year-old can come in contact with a paper shredder that would shred a heavy piece of plastic?
It got stuck in the paper shredder. The computer disc was on top of the computer that's in my living room where they watch cartoons while I cook lunch, so I have them all under control.
You don't have them all under control. You don't have 7 children under control all by yourself. What state do you live in?
Missouri.
Anybody out there in Missouri? A 21-year-old lady doesn't watch 7 children, and possibly 12. There is something wrong in the state of Missouri. Don't you realize that her child could have lost a hand?
Fingers do not fit in the paper shredder. We have tried. Nothing fits in it.
How have you tried?
Nothing fits in it. There's a slot that's like a centimeter thick. It's not even wide at all. And the CD could not have came out because my husband had to use tools to get it out of the paper shredder.
You are responsible for anything that happens in your house.
Yes, ma'am.
While you are in control of these children, not their parents. You take on the responsibility of these children while you are watching them, while they are in your care for money. The idea that you would sue her for the $15 disc that her 2-year-old destroyed while you were in the kitchen not supervising adequately these 7 children is outrageous. Don't you get that? Do you understand that?
Yes.
What would prompt you to sue her for that disc when it is totally your responsibility that this child destroyed property and could have hurt himself? And I guarantee you, they're very inventive, these little children. Places where you never think they're going to be able to fit a finger, they fit a finger. You know, children lose fingers and hands on escalators. You figure, how do they do that? They do it. They're uncanny. That's why you don't take on the responsibility of 7 children. Because if you're in the kitchen cooking, somebody has to be in the living room watching the 7 children. I'm also amazed at you, Miss McGlenn, for leaving your baby there for another 4 weeks after this incident happened. You want to explain why to me?
Well, the first incident was the paper shredder, and at that point I had opened up my eyes and I was paying more attention to what was going on because I'm a single mother, you know, I'm a working mother, and I didn't have anyone else to care for my child. I was trying to find another situation for my son that I felt he was safe in.
How did you arrange to modify your schedule?
I got a different job. I started working a different shift, and I didn't need a babysitter.
Who takes care of him?
My boyfriend.
Boyfriend. How long has this been a boyfriend?
About 1.5 years.
Not the baby's father?
No.
Not happy about that. Just, you the mother?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not crazy about boyfriends watching babies.
Well, it was while he was sleepy.
I don't care if he was out at the prom. I'm not crazy about boyfriends watching babies.
I understand.
Lots of bad things have happened. Your boyfriend may be a really nice guy. I don't know. But you thought that this situation was okay too, right?
No.
When you put your baby there, you thought it was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Turned out not to be okay. You got lucky once. Sometimes it doesn't happen. In any event, while I'm at it, since this is not the first 2 weeks notice case that I got from daycare centers, I'm going to tell you that this is one area, if I were a state government, I would not permit the 2 weeks notice requirement to be put in any daycare situation for the following reason. I'm just throwing this out for general information because I have an extra 30 seconds. Once I removed a child from daycare for cause, I wouldn't want to say, well, I'm going to leave him in here for another 2 weeks because that's what the contract says, that I have to leave him here for another 2 weeks and then worry that he's going to be either neglected or abused or somebody's not going to watch carefully enough because he's a child that's on its way out. I think that if you're moving and you give plenty of notice and say, listen, I'm moving, fine. But if there's cause for you removing your child from a daycare, I think that that 2 week requirement should be absolutely stricken from every daycare contract that's written, especially ones that are state subsidized. Ms. Holscher, you don't have a case. Goodbye.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker is suing her daughter, 20-year-old Heather Huddleston, for stealing and pawning her wedding rings. Heather claims she had her mother's permission.
Ms. Schoonmaker, this young lady is your daughter, and according to your complaint, she owes you some money. She owes you some money because, as a result, according to you, of her drug abuse, she fell behind in her rent. She and her boyfriend, and she came to you for money, and you gave her jewelry to pawn. She pawned the jewelry. She was supposed to get it out. She didn't. You lost the jewelry. You want the money. Is that right?
Well, she also stole my wedding rings out of my jewelry box and pawned them without my knowledge.
For how long has your daughter had a drug problem?
I didn't know that she had one. She told me it was her boyfriend.
When she came to you and asked for money, she told you that the boyfriend had a drug problem?
She said that he was spending money on things he shouldn't and stuff like that.
So then why in the world would you give her jewelry to pawn?
I gave it to her so she would have a place to live. I didn't want her.
Why couldn't she come home?
I have other children that I don't want exposed to the lifestyle that she was doing.
Well, just a second. I thought you said there was nothing wrong with her lifestyle. It was the boyfriend.
And I don't know what her lifestyle was. I know that she was spending money and doing things that she should not be doing. That's the reason that
you
she
shouldn't
left.
have given her your jewelry.
You're right.
So then what are you doing in court?
I'm doing it in court because she stole rings from my jewelry box that I had no knowledge of.
I want you to forget about the pawn jewelry.
Right.
And I think that you knew what her lifestyle was and that if you gave her jewelry to pawn, there was no legitimate expectation of you getting this money back because drug abusers don't return money. Drug abusers put money in their arms or up their noses. Right, Miss Huddleston?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mother says that after she gave you this jewelry to pawn, which you did, you stole some property from her. Did you?
That's not true.
Well, tell me about these wedding rings that you said that you took.
The wedding rings she never wore, and I came upon a time when I needed money for rent, and she told me to go ahead and take the jewelry out of her jewelry box, the wedding rings, to pawn them so I could pay rent, because she never wore them. She hasn't worn them in 5 years.
That's not true.
What other jewelry did she give you?
Previously, she had given me a bag of gold necklaces and a ring that my grandmother had given her. She offered it. I never asked her for money. I told her that I was having problems, and she offered it to me.
That's not true.
What kind of drugs were you or are you involved with?
I was smoking marijuana, and she knew.
And the boyfriend?
Anything and everything.
But not you?
The only thing I ever did was marijuana.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker says her daughter, Heather Huddleston, stole her wedding rings and pawned them.
Still with the boyfriend?
Nope.
Who do you live with now?
I live with friends in Arizona.
Do you work?
Not yet. I'm a student.
You're a student where?
At massage therapy school.
Who pays for it?
I got a grant.
Pays for your living expenses?
I do.
From what?
I have money.
From what?
Doing various jobs. I clean houses and babysit.
Oh, what a bunch of baloney. What a bunch of baloney.
It's true.
My dear Miss Huddleston, you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and cracked you in the face. The wedding rings When did you find out that they were missing?
When I always go into my jewelry box because I keep my earrings and everything in there. I wasn't wearing the rings because one of the diamonds was loose.
Don't tell me what you weren't wearing them. You weren't wearing them.
I wasn't wearing them, and they were gone. I called her at school. She was going to massage therapy school at the time when this happened, and I said, my wedding rings are gone. Do you know where they are? Have you done? She goes, no, I don't know, but when I come home, I will help you find them. And she came home, and I sat her down, and I said, I'm calling the police. And once the police are involved, if you're involved, you're going to jail because I can't stop it. And she said she took them and she pawned them and she thought she could get them back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do.
I know.
Not casual marijuana smokers. How much were the wedding rings pawned for?
$150.
Did you go to the pawn shop and try to get them back?
I didn't know what pawn shop it was, and her boyfriend called me and told me after she left him, for no reason, he didn't even know that she had left him, that he went down to the pawn shop because that's where he gave her the money to go down and pick them up and bring them to me. She told me she was on her way to my house to do laundry and bring me my rings and never showed up. And this is the first time I've seen her since then. The pawn shop had sold all the rings a while ago. A guy that she met on the internet.
One guy? Or
One
friend?
guy with his old girlfriend and his baby.
How old is she?
She'll be 21 in December. I've tried to help her. I don't know how else to help her. And I feel like she needs to start paying for the things that she's doing. And I just thought here at least she would start seeing what her actions are going to start becoming. They're going to get worse. I don't want to have to pick her up in jail. And I won't.
Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you're ready to turn your life around.
That's what I'm hoping.
When did she leave home?
She left home when she was 19.
You go to live with this boyfriend?
She knew him a week and left.
Who else lives at home with you?
My 17-year-old daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 10-year-old son.
You know what these rings were appraised for that she took?
I went in and I got an estimate on what it would cost to replace all of the rings.
Not all the rings.
No, I know, but it has just them separated. My wedding ring and my engagement ring set is on here. $28.99 for the engagement ring and $880 for the wedding ring.
Are you still married to the man who gave you the rings?
Yes, I am. We've lived together for 16 years.
He's not her father?
He's not her father. But you'd never know the difference.
Anything you want to say?
She told me that those rings were remnants of an unhappy marriage and that she was happy to get rid of them. And that's why she let me pawn them. And
I never said that.
I just think it's really funny, you know, she was helping me out, and now because she's getting in trouble from my stepdad and my grandma, she's got to turn around and blame it on me, and I just don't think that's fair.
What do you think is fair?
I didn't do anything wrong. She gave it to me.
You did do something wrong. You came to your mother and you said, I got a drug addict boyfriend, I'm behind in the rent, you were living a lifestyle that was inappropriate, and you came to your mother, who clearly is not a rich lady, because if she was a rich lady, she would have had the money to give you for the rent. She didn't, so all she had was this bag of jewelry, and you're a big girl. You chose to be a big girl. You chose to move out of your house and live on your own.
I never asked her to help me. She offered to help.
How would she know that you needed anything unless you came to her and said, I don't have rent? Listen to me! How would she know that you needed money unless you came to her and told her that you didn't have rent money?
Because I came over one day and I was upset. And like any caring mother would, she asked what was wrong. At least I thought she was caring. Sorry.
You got to do the right thing. You still have time. If you continue to make bad choices in your life, you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up being, instead of a 20-year-old bum, a 40-year-old bum. If you lie down with dirt, you get dirty. Did you ever hear that expression? Did anybody say anything like that to you? If you lie down in dirt, you're going to get dirty. And it sounds to me like you went from the frying pan into the fire. It's not too late. You're still a young girl. But you better start making right choices. Because if you don't make right choices, you're going to end up a 40-year-old dirty girl instead of a 20-year-old dirty girl. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Robert Burridge is suing his ex-fiancée, Carla Jones, for money loaned and forged checks. Carla is countersuing, claiming Robert made false accusations to her probation officer.
Mr. Burridge, Miss Jones used to be your live-in girlfriend?
She was my fiancée.
And according to your complaint, she owes you some money. First for a loan, for insurance. well over a year ago. And then you claim that at some point she forged some checks.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you claim she's got some of your personal property.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jones says none of them were loans. She did, in fact, sign your name to checks. You knew about that. You did not report those forged checks, according to you, when you found out about them. But you continued to live together as a couple. But when you broke up, you, according to you, called her parole officer. You're on parole for something?
I'm off now.
And you called her parole officer to report the forged checks. Is that right?
Yes.
Why'd you do that for?
Because she was forging checks while on parole, and
No, look at me, look at me.
It was a violation.
Let's get a timeline.
It's a violation.
Mr. Barish, listen to me. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
Excuse me.
According to you, it was in October of 2004 that you found out that she had signed your name to some checks.
Yes.
How much in total were the checks that she signed?
$2,900.
And what were they for?
They were made out to her, signed by her, and cashed by her, and deposited to her account.
Okay. Now, when did you find out about these checks? So was that in October?
It was after she moved out in October.
So after you found out about these forged checks, how long did it take you to call her parole officer?
It took me until March of 2005.
Okay. Let's go. Checks, $2,900 worth.
No, nothing was stolen from him. No forged checks. We would pay our bills together. I would tally up how much utilities were or groceries, and I'd say, I need X amount of dollars. And he'd say, okay, go ahead and get a check, write for that, deposit it in there, and pay the bills. And I'd
deposit it where?
Into my checking account. I'd always call him at work, or he would be home when we did it, and he would say, go put that in your checking account and then pay the bills, because I paid everything online.
What are you on parole for? Anything to do with
I'm
checks?
not on parole. I was on probation.
Probation for anything having to do with checks?
No, it was for a DUI.
Oh. Okay. How long were you living together?
About 2.5 years.
Who paid the bills, sir?
The arrangement was that I paid the rent because it was a considerable amount of money, and she picked up the tab for the utilities and the food.
What precipitated your leaving in October of 2004?
Well, the relationship was kind of going sour, and in August of 2004, we had been going to some counseling to see if we could work through some of the issues. And I realized in my heart that it just wasn't going to work out for me, that I wasn't going to be able to go through with the relationship. And of course, he was very upset. And I told him at the end of the lease, which was November 1st of 2004, that I'd be moving out by then and getting my own place.
Robert Burrich says ex-fiancée Carla Jones stole money by forging his check, countersuing, claiming Robert made false accusations to her probation officer.
Okay. When for the first time, Ms. Jones, did the plaintiff confront you about these checks?
Towards the end of the year after I had moved out. We were still talking to each other, and he would come over sometimes on the weekends, and I just felt really sorry for him.
Just tell me what he said to you about the checks.
He called me on the phone close to Christmas. I said I didn't want to see him anymore. I said I don't want you coming over anymore. I don't want to see you at all. It's done. I don't even want to be friends with you. And that's when he threatened he was going to go to the police station and tell them that I forged these checks while we were together. And I said, you know, that's a lie. How can you go tell a lie like that? And he says, I can say whatever I want. And then in March, I finally just told him, I said, I can't see you anymore. We're kind of seeing each other on and off, on and off. Well, he told me he was going to go to the police and do this. So I guess the next day, which was March 14th.
So the first time he spoke to you about it was in December of 2004.
Threatening to do this.
On what date did you contact her probation officer?
It was the 15th of March.
What happened between December and March, sir?
I was investigating the
You already knew about it, and you confronted her with them. And if you had been concerned that she had forged your name to checks and you felt that it was the right thing to do to notify her probation officer, why didn't you do it in December or January or February?
I was hesitant. I wanted the relationship to go on. During the counseling sessions, the counselor asked me if I loved her, and I said yes. And the counselor asked her, did she love me? And she said she didn't know. And the counselor said, did you love him when you took that engagement ring? And she said, I don't know. And I wanted this relationship to last. It was very important to me. She was very important to me. And I figured that the less waves, the better the chances of the relationship working.
But it didn't work, sir.
It didn't, no, it didn't work.
It didn't work. And the response to it not working is not to behave in a retaliatory way.
That's right.
The response to it not working is saying, you went to counseling, she didn't deceive you. She said, we'll go to counseling, we'll see if we can get it to work. And she was being honest. She said, I don't know my feelings. She wasn't trying to be hurtful. If she wanted to be hurtful, she wouldn't have gone to counseling with you.
She deceived me when she accepted the engagement ring.
No, you know, you're talking about there's hard evidence and then there's soft evidence. You know, the divorce rate in this country is 52%. Now, all of those people who divorce, when they sit back, you know, a year later, 6 months later, 5 years later, they say, gee, I wonder if I really loved him. I wonder if I really loved her when I walked down the aisle. You know, or was it something else? It was, you got to get married, or, you know, I fell in love with the beautiful face, or I fell in love with the bank account, whatever it was. Was it really him? I'm really not sure. You know, I really don't know in my heart anymore. That's what people say to themselves.
It was the bank account.
Well, it's all a package. You know, she's an attractive lady, right?
Yes, she is.
She's a very attractive lady, well-spoken. Do you think that if she was an unattractive lady and not well-spoken, you would have been attracted to her? No. You may have gotten to know her better and said, gee, she's got a wonderful soul. But what attracted you to her initially was she's a pretty lady, she seems intelligent, and she's well-spoken, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Part of your package is that you had some dough. That's it. You just have to accept that. And you know, I'm not such a genius that I figured this out myself, because Donald Trump's wife was interviewed recently, and they said to her, would you be married to him if he wasn't Donald Trump, if he wasn't who he is? And she said, you think he'd be married to me if I didn't look like this? Do yourself a big favor. Put a period. It didn't work out. You both gave it your best shot. You should not have called a probation officer. It was a nasty thing to do. And you should not have waited to see the result of this counseling before you decided that what she did was criminal, because then I find your motives suspect.
The reason we actually separated was in August. I told her that her drinking had become a problem, and if she didn't stop drinking, we were not going to renew the lease and live together.
But even after that, you went to counseling with her, because according to you, you loved her.
I did love her.
What I'm telling you is, it didn't work out. That's very sad. Looks like a nice guy. I hope you find another nice one.
She's engaged to another guy already.
Well, then you should look up and say, thank you, God, I didn't make a mistake. Right? Instead of suing her. The case is dismissed, sir. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Cassandra Arnold says her aunt, Anita Beam, won't return her living room furniture. Anita is countersuing, claiming Cassandra filed false charges with Child Protective Services.
Miss Arnold, the defendant is your aunt, and it is your claim that she has some furniture that belongs to you.
Yes.
In addition to that, you claim that she harassed you at a time when you were a tenant, along with your boyfriend?
My husband.
Your husband?
Yes.
Okay. When and why did you move in with your aunt, Miss Arnold?
I moved in with my aunt in February because I had no place to stay. I was living with my father at the time, and him and his girlfriend had split up, and I couldn't stay with my mom, so my aunt...
Just a second. So you were staying with your father and his girlfriend?
Right.
In whose apartment?
It was his girlfriend's house.
And how long had you been staying with your father?
Since I was 13.
So you moved in with your father to his girlfriend's house?
Right.
When they split up, where did your father go?
He went to one of his friends' home, and the reason why I couldn't go with him is because I have a little 16-pound cockapoo, and they already have dogs. So my aunt agreed to let me move in with her. I could keep my dog, and I would pay her $200 a month.
All right, so you moved in February, $200 a month. Right. And then what happened?
Around June, my boyfriend started spending a lot of time with me at my house. My aunt and her boyfriend were having problems. Her boyfriend wasn't working, and he couldn't pay his bills. So my aunt asked us if we would like to move into her basement and pay her $600 a month for the basement, which would include everything in the house, utilities, food, everything. We agreed and moved down into the basement.
Okay. What was your boyfriend doing at the time?
He was working on roofing. He was a roofer.
Okay, that was in June?
Yes.
Keep going.
And in August, my car had broken down, and I couldn't get to him from school. So
I let you use my car.
Shh. Don't interrupt. You'll have a chance. Okay. Go ahead.
Up until the point I was able to buy a new car, my aunt let me use her car. In exchange, we replaced the gas and did oil changes on her car. Towards the end of August, I bought a car for $800 and was only able to pay her $300 of the rent that I owed her. I told her that when we got our next paycheck, we would be able to make up the difference. She agreed to that. About a week later, she served us with eviction papers and put a lock on the upstairs door so we were not able to go and use the kitchen or the upstairs bathroom.
Okay.
And after that is when everything started getting out of control. My aunt would come downstairs drunk and call us out of our names. She would tell us to get the out of her house, and at some point she would badger us so bad that we did have to leave, and on 3 occasions actually we had to call the cops on her because she wouldn't leave us alone.
I don't get to the furniture. Somehow in your whole complaint you're talking about furniture, and you didn't tell me anything about the furniture.
The furniture, when we made the decision to move down into the basement, I had all of my belongings in storage.
What belongings did you have?
I had the furniture in storage.
What furniture?
The living room furniture. It was living room furniture. It was a 5-piece sectional couch and 2 antique parquet tables.
When had you purchased the 5-piece sectional?
The 5-piece sectional couch was purchased in Maryland.
By whom?
Me and my father. And when I moved out of his house, and I tried to go on my own at first, and I got my own place, and he gave me the furniture back. We put it in there, and then when it didn't work out in my own place, I put
Why didn't it work out in your own place?
Just jobs and bills and just being young and buying stupid stuff and not really paying attention to what's going on. So it didn't work out, and I moved back into my father's house.
And you put the furniture in storage?
Yes.
How did your aunt get it in her house?
My aunt was complaining because she says that her furniture embarrassed her. She had really not too nice furniture in her house. So I agreed to put the furniture in her house until I moved out.
Okay. All right, Miss Beam, let's get to the furniture first.
Well, I got rid of 2 complete sets of furniture to accommodate her furniture.
Why would you do that?
Because she could not afford to keep it in storage and pay me.
Listen, you don't get rid of wonderful furniture that you love.
I didn't say it was the best.
All right. So her story has a ring of truth to it, Miss Beam, that you didn't like your furniture, that it was old.
Yeah, it was old, yes.
Okay.
And after she was there for a while, then she stated how she was going to give that to me because when she moved out, her and Travis were going to start fresh.
When she first put it in your house.
Yes.
She put it in your house, and she said to you, use it for as long as you like while I'm here. Is that right?
Yes.
And you say sometime later she told you, you keep it.
That's right.
When later?
I would say it was in the end of June.
The end of June?
Yeah, because that's when her car started breaking down and she started to need my car to get back and forth to work on a daily basis.
Okay. Now, Miss Beam, your counterclaim alleges that Miss Arnold called Child Protective Services on you, and she acknowledges that she did.
Yes.
How old is your child?
10.
Boy or a girl?
Boy.
Who is this person who's here with you?
It's my brother.
Does he live with you?
No, but he takes care of my son in the morning before he goes to school.
Tell me your name.
Bernard Homan.
How far do you live from your sister, Mr. Homan?
Between 3 and 4 miles.
Did you ever know your sister to have a drinking problem? Look at me. Did you ever know your sister to have a drinking problem?
No, I wouldn't say a problem, no.
What would you say, sir? And I want you to make sure you answer, because, you know, I know everything.
I understand.
So I want you to give me an answer.
She has more liquor bottles in her house than I do.
Have you ever seen your sister intoxicated?
In the past, I have, yeah.
When was the last time you saw your sister intoxicated?
Probably over a year.
Where?
It was at a party.
Family party?
It was.
Did you ever have any concern about your sister and her drinking? Look at me. Don't look down. You see, that's a sign, sir.
Okay.
That's a sign. Did you ever have any concern about your sister and drinking?
No.
You should.
Why should he?
Because, I'm going to answer your question. Because people who abuse alcohol...
What makes you think I'm abusing?
Shh, listen to me. Listen to me. You ask me a question, I'm going to try to answer you.
Okay.
People who abuse alcohol have an affect. And when you've been involved in the court system for as long as I have, you develop an uncanny ability to be able to tell people by their affect who have, in the past or currently, abused either drugs or alcohol. And I'm going to tell you that you are not going to be able to convince me, especially after I listen to Brother, that you do not have an alcohol problem.
You're going to go by what two vindictive teenagers say about me?
Listen to me. No, has nothing to do with what they said about you.
Well, it
you
seems
weren't
like it
listening.
does.
You weren't listening to me.
Judge, you asked me if I thought she had a drinking problem. Exactly what would be your definition of a drinking problem? Perhaps mine and yours are different.
Aren't different, sir. Yours and mine are exactly the same. Miss Bean, listen to me. There are two things that I have to determine in this lawsuit. One, whether or not you are responsible for the furniture. And I find that the furniture was not given to you as a gift, that the furniture was given to you by this young lady to use, and that since I have no indication that this furniture is going to be returned in reasonable condition, and since she doesn't have a bill, and since it's a 5-piece sectional, I am ascribing to this used furniture, which was used when she put it in your house, the whole kit and caboodle, not $5,000, $800. Then I have to...
She told me she only paid $250 from a crackhead for it.
Listen to me. Then I have to look at your counterclaim. The plaintiff acknowledges she called Child Protective Services. So there's no issue that she did. I believe that she did, at least in part, because of the bad blood that developed towards the end of her tenancy with you. Whether I find, by just a little bit more evidence, that there was some basis for her to call is the issue. And I don't want to go into, after the boyfriend moved out, whether you started to drink more.
It's not my boyfriend, it's my son's father.
Just 1 second. Did he live with you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. He wasn't your husband?
No.
Well, then how would you introduce him to people?
My son's father.
You would say, I'm living with my son's father?
Yep.
Not your boyfriend, not your fiancé?
No, I don't call a man that's 52 years old a boy.
Got it? Got it. Okay. Miss Arnold, what you said in your complaint was that as soon as you moved in, you realized that your aunt had a drinking problem and got nasty when she drank.
Yes.
But that happened as soon as you moved in.
It did.
In February. You didn't report it in February.
I had no place to
You
go.
didn't I don't care whether you had no place to go or not. The issue in calling Child Protective Services is not whether you had a place to go. You're a grown-up. You called Child Protective Services after the eviction to get even. And if you were legitimately interested in the welfare of your 10-year-old cousin, you would have called Child Protective Services in February. Or March or April.
I was more interested in it now because after her boyfriend left, she started going really, really downhill. She started bringing strange men home. She started staying out all night.
Listen to me. I'm dismissing your counterclaim, Ms. Beam. I find that there was, in all probability, justification for her making a report to Child Protective Services, irrespective of what her motives were. I am not directing you to return this sofa sectionals and 2 tables to her because I'm not sure what kind of condition they'd be in when they got back to her. And I am ruling in her favor in the amount of $800 for that furniture. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
20-year-old Catherine Gonzalez is suing her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old exterminator Zachary Finney, for breaking their apartment lease and for a loan to have his teeth fixed.
So you two people, when you were under 20, decided to take up housekeeping together, according to what I read in your complaint, and you leased an apartment. At the time you leased this apartment together, were you working?
Yes, I was working.
And how much did you earn a week?
I got $9 an hour. I'd get like about $400 or $500 every 2 weeks.
Well, is it $400 every 2 weeks or $500 every 2 weeks?
The months differed, but I know in December when we moved in, I made $1,083 and 10 cents in December. No.
In December. Did you work overtime for Christmas during that time?
I worked a little bit more hours, but...
Okay. So let's say you made $500 every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay? And you, what kind of work were you doing?
I was a mover, and I made about, say, $350 every week.
So you made about $1,400.
Yes, ma'am.
A month. And what kind of an apartment did you rent?
A 1-bedroom.
How much was the rent?
$530.
When did you sign the lease?
We signed it in November, but it began December 1st, 2004.
And it was a 6-month lease?
It was a 1-year lease.
How long did you live there?
I lived there until June.
So you lived there for 6 months?
Yes.
And then you moved out?
Yes.
How long did you live there?
I lived there until September 30th of this year.
So you stayed on an extra 3 months?
I'd say almost 4.
Did you pay the rent for the 4 months that you lived there?
Yes.
They're coming after you for the 2 months rent that remains on the lease after he moved out?
Yes, 2 months. He didn't pay rent.
You want him to pay those 2 months?
Yes. And also, He had porcelain veneers put on before we moved into the apartment even. And he promised he would pay me back for those when we went to Mexico to get his porcelain veneers.
How long ago was that?
That was last fall. So
a year ago?
Yes, a year ago.
Forget about it. I'm not interested in something that happened a year ago. Then you moved in together, you pulled money. Did you have a joint bank account?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Get over it, Ms. Gonzalez. Now, why do you think that he should be responsible solely for the last 2 months' rent? You moved out in June.
He promised me he would stay there until the lease was over. I told him, you know, he didn't want to live with his parents. I said, you don't have to worry. I won't ever make you live back with your parents. As long as you stay there, you can stay there. I trust you. And he promised that he would stay there until the lease was up.
Well, didn't you promise him you were going to stay there until the lease was up when you signed the lease with him?
Yes, but until he asked me to leave, then...
He asked you to leave, why?
There was a lot of reasons. I could have left before. I stayed there to help him pay rent, and really that was the only thing I was staying for towards the end. And the moment he told me that I could leave, I was happy. He said, please leave, and I said, okay.
Because he was making everybody's life miserable.
Yes. He was...
Well, but I still don't get your position that it was okay for you to leave and stick him with the rent, but it's not okay for him to leave and stick you with the rent, or at least half of it.
I would have stayed there, but he told me that I could leave.
Miss Gonzalez, stop being a baby. Two 20-year-olds, if they're not getting along, don't stay with each other. That's why police come to houses, because people get hot-tempered and nasty stuff that goes on in people's homes when they're not getting along. So you left.
Yeah.
And he paid the rent.
Yeah, he paid the rent.
So?
And he should have continued to pay it until December. Also, he signed...
You should have continued to pay it after you left in June. Where did you go?
I went to live with my dad. And...
Well, if you went to live with your dad, then you had plenty of money. You should have given him half the rent.
I did not have plenty of money. I had bills.
Listen to me. You should have given him half the rent. Said, I'm leaving. Too bad it didn't work out. We shouldn't live together. I'll give you half the rent.
I have a piece of paper, though, that says he owes me $800 per month for rent and expenses, regardless of whether we're living. It doesn't say, not if Zach doesn't live there. It doesn't say any conditions on it. And so that was my guarantee that he would stay there and pay the rent, because he signed a piece of paper saying that he would.
Let me see it. I, Zachary Finney, will give $800 a month for rent or other reasons to Catherine Gonzalez for a period of 1 year from December 1st, 04 to December 1st, 05. What does that mean, sir?
To get the apartment that we moved into, I had a lease that I had prior to living there with my roommates. I had an apartment with them. I moved out, and my other roommate was supposed to take that over. He left, and that went on my credit, so I couldn't get approved. The reason I did that is the apartments asked me to do it so we could get approved to move in there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to move in there.
So this wasn't for her.
It was to get us approved to live there.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, give this back to her. All right, now why are they just going after you for the last 2 months of this rent, Miss Gonzalez?
Because my name was on the lease.
So he's not even liable on the lease?
No, but this piece of paper was my guarantee that he would not...
That wasn't your guarantee. That's not the reason it was signed. And so the rent is $530 a month?
Yes.
Did you give them notice you were moving out, sir?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I've been paying the rent ever since she moved out. In September, we had a hurricane hit Louisiana, Katrina, and a hurricane that was going to hit Houston, Rita. Well, I'm an exterminator, and my customers started canceling, and I work off commission. If I don't work, I don't get paid. And I was out of work probably almost 2 weeks, I would say. I asked her for help, and she kept giving me a runaround about why she couldn't help me, so I just left. I wasn't going to stay there.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Well, in any event, you did have an agreement, and your agreement was each of you would pay half the rent. Is that your agreement when you moved in? And if there were 2 months left remaining on the lease, that means that each of you would be responsible for $530. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, you think it's fair, Mr. Finney, that you pay $530?
No, I don't.
Well, it is. It is, sir. You paid for the 4 months rent in the apartment, but you lived in the apartment for 4 months.
Yes.
And from what I gather from Miss Gonzalez, it was by mutual understanding that you left. She wasn't happy there. You weren't happy with her there. She was more than happy to leave. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, I think it's reasonable that each of you is responsible for the last 2 months that remain on this lease. And next time you decide to set up housekeeping with somebody, you better make sure it's somebody that's going to either stick it out with you, or if they're not going to stick it out with you, then you can afford to pay the rent by yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's not his responsibility to pay this entire amount, nor is it yours. Anyway, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $530. That's all.
Tanya Blishak is suing her former co-worker, Julianne Rouse, for startup money to sell Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Miss Blishak, According to what I've read in your complaint, you and the defendant worked together in a hair salon period of time, and in addition to your regular work, you were making some money on the side selling Mary Kay cosmetics. You tried to get Miss Rouse to become a representative for Mary Kay and claimed that you sold her a quantity of product. You put it on your credit card because she asked you to, with the understanding that she would pay the credit card bill. She paid some, but not all, and you want the balance. Ms. Rouse says that you sort of pressured her into becoming a representative. She paid you back a total so far of $1,400 for the product that was purchased, according to her, without her consent. She stopped selling the product. She still has 6 boxes of it at home that you're welcome to have because she says she's paid enough.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I sold it for about a month.
That's a fib that you just told me, because you told me a moment ago that after a month, so that means that you were at least selling the product for 2 months.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tanya Blishak says former co-worker Julianne Rouse owes for a loan to buy Mary Kay cosmetics. Julianne says the makeup was forced on her.
When did you start to sell Mary Kay cosmetics?
September of 2001.
And what percentage do you get of what, for instance, Miss Rouse would purchase from Mary Kay?
At the time, I did get 13% on her order, but I would like to state...
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I just want to say that I explained to her completely and full detail that she does not have to order any inventory whatsoever. It is for her benefit to have inventory if she wants it, so that she can give it to her customers when they buy it from her. That's completely her option. She doesn't have to do it, and she chose to do one of the big ones.
When did she purchase this product?
In April of '04.
And how much did she purchase?
She purchased a $2,400 order.
Now, tell me under what circumstances you financed her order of $2,400.
It was with my credit card.
Why?
She had been a customer as well before, and I had no problems with her financially. She paid her orders, there was no problems. And she wanted to get started with a business. She said she didn't have a credit card and you can't pay cash. And she wanted to do it, and I told her that I would help her out. She was going to pay me back the next month, and we were going to be done with this.
From where was she supposed to get $2,400?
I don't know.
Who do you live with?
My husband.
Have any children?
Yes.
How many?
1.
How old?
7 months.
And you were working full-time?
No, ma'am.
Part-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I wasn't working for a while. I was going to school, and then I went back to work part-time at the salon. And at that time, my fiance at the time were living with roommates. We didn't have our own place.
So when you purchased this stuff, Miss Rouse, it was your intention to make this a part-time job?
Well, I was working part-time at the salon, and then I left there right about the same time this all happened to work full-time at a travel agency.
So was it your intention to work part-time selling Mary Kay cosmetics?
At that time, yes.
Who selected the product that was purchased?
Miss Blishak did.
Without your input?
I didn't input. She did it online, and she ordered the things that she thought I needed at the time. And then about 5 weeks later, I needed different products. I had to place another order on my own to get the products that I needed for my clients.
So you were, in fact, working?
For a little bit, yes.
So why didn't you finish paying her for the product?
And in the beginning, I did not want to sell the Mary Kay. She kept asking me to join. I thought if I joined it, it would be over and done with after the $115. So then after this, I decided that I would try it out.
Well, that's what she's talking about.
And she told me when she did this that I would be able to pay her back in a month because you would make so much money selling these products within the first month, as she did. At the time, I couldn't do that. I was working full-time.
Well, that happened later. Miss Rouse.
Within the same week,
Miss
it happened,
Rouse,
ma'am.
listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something about buyer's remorse, which means that at the time you thought it was a good idea, and all of a sudden it didn't look so good after it was done, as opposed to someone who fraudulently sells you something. I'm not getting the sense that Miss Blishak sold you anything fraudulently, especially since you ordered more product a month later. And you paid her $1,400. She paid you $1,400? When did you stop paying her?
August was the last payment I gave her.
And you were paying her prior to that time because you were selling product?
I sold it for about a month.
Or more? Because that's a fib that you just told me, Miss Rouse. Because you told me a moment ago that after a month you ordered more product to sell to your customer. So that means that you were at least selling the product for 2 months.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Sounds to me, Miss Rouse, as a case of you didn't plan on getting pregnant, you planned on working full-time, you planned on selling this part-time. It all didn't work out because you left a part-time job, went to a full-time job, then you got pregnant, then you stopped working. Are you working now?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You better start selling some Mary Kay cosmetics because you owe her some money. How much does she owe you with interest on your credit card?
$1848.02.
Can I see that, please? Why does she owe you $1848? What kind of interest they charge you on your credit card?
It was 12.9.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You have 6 boxes of product left?
Yes, ma'am. I have a list of everything I have.
Good. You better start selling it, Miss Rouse. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,848. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
John White says co-worker Toriano Harris owes for injuring his eye. John says Toriano ripped his cornea when he tackled him at a party.
According to your complaint, sir, you were at a New Year's Eve party. Yes. Mr. Harris was at the same New Year's Eve party, and you claimed that he was pretty drunk, and while not intentionally, while horsing around, he seriously injured your eye.
True.
Mr. Harris says everybody was sort of fooling around and butting each other. He didn't injure you, you were just fine, and he questions whether or not he exacerbated this pre-existing eye injury that you had.
Right.
What time did you get to the party?
Probably around 12:30.
Who did you go with?
Kathy.
Where had you been before?
At another party.
Who was driving?
I was.
Were you drinking?
Yeah.
How come you were drinking and driving?
And got caught up in the celebrations.
Was she drinking?
No.
Why didn't you let her drive?
Wasn't thinking at the time.
How much had you been drinking?
Couple cups of champagne, maybe.
Whose party was this that you arrived at 12:30?
Another co-worker's, another friend.
What time had you arrived at the party?
It was a little before 12, about 11:30.
Where had you been previous to 11:30?
I live across the street, so I walked across the street to the party.
So you hadn't had any alcohol before 11:30?
Nope. Ma'am.
And what were you drinking between 11:30 and 12:30?
Had about 2 beers.
Who did you come to the party with?
By myself.
Were you by yourself the beginning part of the evening?
Yes, I was.
That sounds pretty lonely on a New Year's Eve, Mr. Harris.
Well, I had just got off work, and then I went home and found out it was a party across the street, and it was somebody who I work with. So I was invited, so I walked across the street.
Okay, so now that we've laid the foundation of this evening, you were there by yourself, you had a date, you arrived at 12:30, you arrived at 11:30, you were sober as a judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Before 11:30, after that, you had a couple of beers. Tell me what happened to 12:30 when you arrived, Mr. White.
I came in the house, I mingled a little bit, had some more drinks. Probably 45 minutes to an hour after that time of mingling. Mr. Harris here was just a little bit out of control. He was obviously way drunker than he said he was. He was so out of control that me and some of the other guests removed ourselves from the living room of the party to like the front porch, patio type area, holding the door, keeping him from coming in. He eventually got it on the patio where he continued his behaviors.
Describe his behavior to me, please.
Out of control is the only word I can use. He jumping around, spitting liquor at us, loud, screaming. Got down into like a football stance and just rushed me.
Describe that to me. Show me. What's a football stance?
Out here?
Yeah.
A football stance.
Okay, that kind of, okay. All right.
Brushed my legs, grabbed me by the legs, and I don't know if he was trying to put me in a wrestling move or just whatever, but as I was going down, his head hit my eye, causing the stitches that I had from a previous surgery to bust. And
what kind of surgery had you had on your eye?
I had a cornea transplant.
When?
September 20th.
You have the medical records for me?
Yes.
I'd like to see them, please. That's the injury that you're talking about, being bumped in the head by him and the stitches coming apart. Did you go to the emergency room that day?
Yes, I did.
Who took you?
My friend here, Kathy. I actually went home to, back to
Kathy, you have a last name.
Flynn.
You took him to the emergency room?
Yes.
Immediately after being bumped in the head, did you leave the party?
Well, after I got hit in the eye, like I said, he took me to the ground. I think that was the initial impact. And once I was on the ground, he went for probably a headlock and came across my eye again, taking me back to the ground as I was getting up. And at that point, it was when I crawled to the bathroom, tried to wipe the little blood that I did have, and then I left the party.
How many surgeries did you have subsequent to this incident?
3.
Were you scheduled to have any other surgeries after?
No.
the initial corneal transplant.
Right. I was doing.
You were doing
it was in
fine.
the period of my recovery process.
Okay, Mr. Harris, I'm going to hear you, sir.
We was at the party. We had a couple drinks. I had a couple drinks. I knew he was already there, and he was already drinking, because I can already tell the way he was talking.
You arrived first.
No, he arrived first.
No, you arrived first. You said you arrived at 11:30. They didn't arrive until 12:30.
No, he was there first before me.
Okay, keep going.
I already knew that he had been drinking because the way the slur of his speech he was talking. As the struck clock to 12, we all just was having fun. It was party, horse playing, high five. We bumped chests. Then all of a sudden, a buddy of mine had picked me up. I'm looking around like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So then all of a sudden, he grabbed me. So when he grabbed me, I broke him off of me. And then he fell to the ground, I guess injuring his eye then. He was the aggressor. I wasn't the aggressor. He put his hands on me first.
Did you see what happened?
No, he did. I was in the other room. I'm the one who just witnessed.
Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Brian Dukes.
Do you know both of these gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you known them?
About 3 years.
Both?
Yes.
Both nice people?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What time had you arrived at the party that night?
It was after midnight.
Were you out on the porch when this incident
Yes,
occurred?
ma'am.
Tell me what you saw, please.
I'm pretty much a witness to his pretty much out of control behaviors, Mr. Harris. He pretty, like Mr. White here said, he did get down, crouch down in the football stands and did attack Mr. White here.
Just describe to me what you saw. He got down in a football stance.
Football stands. Then he like just rushed him, just grabbed his legs and like took him down to the ground.
Did you assist him in cleaning up his eye?
No, ma'am.
You were just a guest at the party?
Yes.
Did you come with an escort?
No, ma'am.
Were you the only one with a date that night?
No. No.
Okay. I read your complaint that you had a video.
Yes.
Somebody was taking pictures of that
The
evening.
homeowner of the party actually was recording the whole incident.
I'd like to see it, please. Mr. Dukes, you can have a seat, sir.
Thank you.
This is the point here. This was like I say, well past 12:30. He's actually finna start spitting liquor at us. You can't hear it, but he's screaming, yelling, profanity, whatnot. This in the background. This the patio. Now this the patio area here where we at. One of the that's the homeowner's friend, telling him that he needs to go, but he's not hearing anything. That's the charge. Right there, you can see me holding my eye as I'm going back. And he jumps on me again. I'm trying to get up now. I brought back down. At this point here, this is where I told him, I didn't use these words, but you just messed my eye up. And he was like, all right, get up, I got you. I'm crawling off into the bathroom now. As he comes back out, he attempts to do this again, but he will stop. This was a separate person here, separate incident. And so that's the homeowner there. At this point, she was just really fed up with him. That's him hitting the door, banging on her front door, glass door.
What you're supposed to say, Mr. Harris, is, I drank too much, I was an idiot. I'm sorry I hurt you, and I'm going to pay your bills. You're not supposed to make excuses, sir. Have you seen this video before?
No.
You've never seen it before?
Never seen it
Why
before.
didn't you show him this video before? Maybe he would understand the nature of his actions.
In this process, I've reached out to him twice, not asking him to pay the bills, just to help me. Like I said, we have been friends for some time. I knew that he didn't just have his money in his pocket, but if he would just assisted, no, I don't. But if he had just assisted with the help, we probably wouldn't be here.
I'm waiting.
If he knew that his eye was messed up, why would he come to a party and have fun anyway? I mean, but you know, sometimes when you're at a party, everybody get, you know, everybody horseplay. At least they do where I'm from.
You want to take this one, or what do you want me to do?
I don't know. There are good questions and there are bad questions. That's a bad question.
You know that if you have some delicate surgery, the chances of that surgery becoming infected, inflamed, that can become dislodged, that happens. Is what you're suggesting, sir, that if you have this kind of surgery, you stay in your room? You work at a place where I assume sometimes it gets physical.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's his job. So he has to go to work. And you take care as best as you can to make sure that the people that you're working with don't hurt you, don't exacerbate a condition that already exists. When you go to a New Year's Eve party, you expect to have a little bit of alcohol, sometimes, And sometimes you even expect people to act stupid. You don't expect them to act very stupid. And when you act very stupid, Mr. Harris, and you hurt somebody, you have to be responsible and pay for it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this question, sir. You live across the street from this party.
Yes, ma'am.
You were pretty drunk.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me give you this scenario. You're walking back to your house, and you're pretty drunk, and you're not looking where you were going. And a car is coming down the street. They're perfectly fine. Nobody's drinking in that car. They're driving. But you dart out into the middle of the street, and that car swerves to avoid you. And the people in that car are seriously injured because they hit a tree. Are you going to tell me that you think on New Year's Eve people shouldn't drive their cars because drunks sometimes walk in the middle of the road? That's the same kind of philosophy that you're trying to sell me when you say, listen, when you go to a New Year's Eve party, everybody gets drunk and they horse around. You can horse around without being an idiot. Would you like to show your boss that video?
I don't want to show nobody the video.
Well, you should have thought of that before you came here, Mr. Harris. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Felicia Hammond is suing her neighbor, 22-year-old Ashley Francis, for damage to her car. Felicia says Ashley's son, 7-year-old Derek, scratched her bumper when he crashed his bike.
Miss Hammond, how long have you and Miss Francis been neighbors?
Approximately a year.
You have children?
No.
Who do you live with?
Myself.
How many children do you have?
One. Derek.
Cute. It is your claim, Miss Hammond, that this adorable little boy fell off his bike and scratched the bumper of your car.
Yes.
You want his mother to pay for that scratch.
Yes.
Can I see the picture of the scratch?
Yes.
You're talking about this little scratch right here.
Yes.
Does it have any other scratches on it?
No, ma'am.
So, tell me what happened.
On January 1st, 2005, I was looking out of my bedroom window. Derek was riding his bicycle in the middle of the street. He ran into my car. His front wheel of his bicycle hit my passenger back wheel. And the way the bike fell, I guess the pedal of his bike must have scratched my bumper. I immediately went outside to check the damages, and that's when I noticed the scratch on my bumper. I went back in the house, contacted the police.
That's one of the things in your complaint that I didn't understand. Why did you call the police?
For a police report.
Why?
Just in case she didn't want to pay, just for my evidence.
Well, instead of going over to Miss Francis first, before you call the police, I mean, that wouldn't have been my first reaction. I mean, might have been my first reaction if a big boy came up to your car and took a rock and scratched it. I mean, that's vandalism. This wasn't vandalism, this was an accident.
It was an accident, yes.
So I don't understand your overreaction in calling the police.
Well, I wouldn't consider it an overreaction, but that was just...
well, you may not consider it an overreaction. But I'm telling you it was an overreaction.
Okay, well, that's what I did, and then after that, I went over and talked to his mother.
What did you say to her when you went over
I told her that her son was riding his bicycle. He fell off the bicycle, and his bicycle damaged my bumper.
Did you tell her you would call the police?
I told her I called the police.
What was her reaction when you told her you called the police?
She just said, okay, we'll wait till they get here, and we'll take it from there. And she told me that she would pay me for the damages.
Is that the conversation you had?
Well, first of all, he fell off his bike. He came home to me, and his leg was all scraped up, and he was crying. 2 minutes later, I got a knock on the door, and she was telling me, your son hit my car with his bike. I saw him hit my car with his bike. You will pay for it. I told her right now I'm not in a position to pay for anything. Me and my mother had talked, and she asked, did I see it happen? Did Derek remember if it happened? Derek just remembered he fell off the bike.
Derek remembered he fell off the bike and hurt himself.
Right.
Let us say, Miss Francis, that Derek fell off of his bike and scratched the bumper of her car.
Right.
That's what happened.
That's what she's saying.
I'm telling you that's what happened.
Okay. Well, there was also several kids that always play in that neighborhood.
Don't make excuses. Derek fell off of his bike. She saw him fall off the bike at the exact same moment. He came home crying that he had fallen off his bike. He scraped his leg. It all fits. I don't care how many other people were around the car or around the neighborhood or around the planet.
Okay.
He didn't mean it. It was an accident. Unfortunately, Miss Hammond was not a good neighbor.
And the way that she...
I'm telling you, Miss Hammond, you were not a good neighbor. And if you had had little children, the first call wouldn't have been to the police to file a police report.
Okay,
the first call would have been to Miss Francis to say, your little boy just fell, is he okay? That would have been the first call. He fell and he scratched my car. Do you get it?
I get it, but I didn't know that he had damaged his leg.
Yes. Just a second, of course. Well, that's the question you ask.
Well, he got back.
I want quiet. The question that you ask is, I saw Derek fall off his bike. Is he okay?
Well, when he fell, he got back on the bike and he rode off.
So he wasn't an extremist, which means he's okay.
He was, yeah.
As it happened, he hurt himself. Scratched leg, scratched bumper. How old are you?
7. He just turned 7 September 16th.
So he's thinking 7, okay? Your car is 10. He's 7.
Yes.
Scratched leg, scratched bumper. You got it?
Yes.
All right. You have an estimate for the damage?
ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. Is that about right, Bert? $300 to fix it?
Guess so.
$376 to be exact. You have to have a perfect bumper.
But can't they just paint the scratch? Because when we
Bumpers
scratch...
aren't. I'm told that they're made out of a different material, so that you can't use touch-up paint. Is that right?
That's right.
Otherwise, believe me, $9.95 she would have gotten a little touch-up paint and touch it up, but you can't do that with a bumper. I know. Somebody just did it to my bumper. Judgment to the plaintiff in the amount of $376. Okay.
Thank you,
Be a
Your
good
Honor.
neighbor.
Wow.
Goes much further. That's all.
Mamie Carter says her son's former friend, Michael Powell, damaged her home while she was on vacation. Mamie claims Michael threw parties the entire time she was gone.
Miss Carter, you hired the defendant to sit while you and your son went on a vacation. And according to your complaint, you came back and found your house trashed, some alcohol missing, and the place generally a disaster. How old are you, Mr. Powell?
I am 27 years old currently.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
Currently, I'm a waiter, and
what were you doing when you were engaged by Miss Carter?
Full-time college student, Your Honor.
Full-time college student at age 27?
I'm on the 10-year plan.
Where were you living?
I was living...
Why are you gazing up at the stars?
I'm sorry.
These are not hard questions, Mr.
I'm sorry,
Powell.
Your Honor.
These are not hard questions, sir.
I'm sorry. I live
Where were you living at the time that you were retained by Miss Carter and you were a full-time college student on the 10-year plan?
I live in a duplex near downtown San Antonio.
With whom?
With a roommate of mine.
And who supports you? It's not an answer.
The state.
How does the state support you?
Student loans, Your Honor.
You've been getting 10 years' worth of student loans?
No. That's why I've been in it for so long, because I've been working as well as going to school at certain points in time. So that's why I'm 27 and still in college.
How many credits do you have? So you don't mind if I go through this with him, do you? This
I'll
is
have a good time.
fascinating.
I'm
going to have a good time. You know. Sometimes the job demands you have a good time. Sometimes.
I'm a little bit indecisive, Your Honor, so I've changed my major quite a few times, so probably I have accrued close to 160 hours in school.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Mr. Powell? Where does your family live, Mr. Powell?
They live in San Antonio, Texas.
Is that where you come from?
Yes, born and raised.
Are you friendly with your parents?
Yes, very much so.
Did they give you money?
When times are rough, yes.
Well, if you're 27 years old and unemployed, sir, couldn't get rougher than that.
I'm a waiter, Your Honor. I'm a waiter.
Full-time waiter or a part-time waiter? I'm going to find out where you're a full-time waiter, if you are a full-time waiter.
No, I'm not a full-time waiter, Your Honor.
All right, so a part-time waiter
30
doesn't
hours a
support a duplex, Mr. Powell.
It's cheap rent.
Didn't think that this would happen to you, did you? All right, enough. Miss Carter, which one of these two gentlemen is your son?
He is the one in...
That one, in the suit?
In the suit.
And they were friends?
Yes, they were friends since 1997.
All right. Stand up for a second. Your name?
Curtis Carter?
Curtis, where do you live? With your mother?
No, I have my own residence in San Antonio.
Perfect. Who supports the residence?
I do.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an investment broker.
Very nice. Did you buy that suit all by yourself?
She helped me out.
Who paid for it?
Gosh, my mother did.
Oy. What?
Gosh.
Ouch. Gosh. I love it. Do you make a living?
Yes.
Okay. And you've known Mr. Powell for about 10 years?
Approximately.
Where do you know him from?
We went to high school together, and we have all kinds of friends in common.
You know he's a little flaky.
Well, he hasn't always been.
He is now. Did you recommend Mr. Powell to your mother as a house sitter?
I did.
But we had previously hired him, Your Honor, on a previous occasion, and we got along without difficulty.
How many days did he house sit on the previous occasion?
Maybe a week.
And he lived at your house?
That's correct.
How long ago?
4 years ago.
And 4 years ago, Miss Carter, was he a college student?
Yes, he was.
4 years later, he's still a college student.
That's right.
You should have said to yourself, something's not right there. Now, you hired him when, the second time?
I hired him February 24th of this year.
How long were you going to be away?
We went away from March 1 through the 24th of this year.
And how many animals did you...
1 dog and 1 tropical fish.
Okay. And he was to take care of the dog, the fish, the house.
That's right.
Okay. When you came home on the 24th, did you take photos of the house?
We took photos of the damage the next day or so.
I'd like to see the photos. Are you an otherwise neat person?
Not particularly.
Now, where was this brick wall?
The brick wall is outside my kitchen. Somehow, it was knocked into the driveway. A 4-foot section of it was knocked in.
Your Honor,
okay.
I mean, it wasn't a 4-foot section. It was maybe more like 2 to 2.5 feet. It was about 15. I know because I bought the bricks. There was...
I want you to tell me, Mr. Powell, how the brick wall fell down.
All I can really tell you is I believe it was because she lives in Almas Park, which is also a basin. It floods there a lot.
Just a second. Did it flood the 3 weeks that she was gone?
No, Your Honor.
And we are not in the floodplain.
You have to give him a chance, Miss Carter. Don't interrupt him.
Either way,
Were you leaning against it?
I was leaning against it, indeed.
You were leaning
yes.
against it when it fell over?
When it started to tremor, and then, boom, fell down about close to 15 feet into the driveway.
But I also have leaned against it.
I told you, don't interrupt him. So you were leaning against the brick wall, and it fell over into the driveway?
Indeed.
And you tried to fix it?
Indeed. Indeed, I did.
Did you fix it?
To the best of my ability, I had my friend over here, Jason, and his brother-in-law, who does construction and mason work.
27 years.
Helped to put the brick wall back together again. And I even planted flowers in the flower pots because I felt bad about the whole situation.
On what date, Mr. Powell, did the brick wall fall down?
Well, I'm basing this on the plaintiff's statement. She said
No, I want the plaintiff is in Africa, on the plains. You are on the brick wall.
Okay.
So you tell me what date. Let's go back to subject, Mr. Powell. You're 27 years old.
Yes, sir.
You're a 10-year veteran of college. How many brick walls in your life have fallen down when you were leaning against them?
None since that.
पुराने हाथ राइखा बेईमान भूला गेली हमारे तार घरे आ जालो जलास আমায় রাইখা अंधारे पुराने हाथ राइखा बेईमान भूला गेली हमारे कार घरे आ जालो जलास আমায় রাইখা अंधारे জীবন যৌবন নিলি সবই নিঃস্ব করলি আমারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে করবে তোর বিচার মন ভাঙার নিবে হিসাব অধম রে কেন ভাঙা গেলি করছিলাম কি পাপ আল্লাহ করবে তোর বিচার মন ভাঙার নিবে হিসাব অধম রে কেন ভাঙা গেলি করছিলাম কি পাপ জীবন যৌবন নিলি সবই নিঃস্ব করলি আমারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে তোর মুখটা দেখায় আমি ভুলতাম রে সব দূর জিন্দা লাশ বানাই গেলি শূন্য করলি আমার বুক তোর মুখটা দেখায় আমি ভুলতাম রে সব দূর জিন্দা লাশ বানাই গেলি শূন্য করলি আমার বুক তোরে নিয়া হইল না রে সুখের ঘর বাঁধা রে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্না রে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্না রে পুরানে হাত রাইখা বেঈমান ভুইলা গেলি আমারে আর ঘরে আজালো জালাস আমায় রাইখা আন্ধারে কোরআনে হাত রাইখা বেঈমান ভুইলা গেলি আমারে কার ঘরে আজালো জালাস আমায় রাইখা আন্ধারে জীবন যৌবন নিলি সবই নিঃস্ব করলি আমারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে বুকে দিলি চিতার আগুন চোখে দিলি কান্নারে
I agree. Good. Now, there was a painting that you talk about that you have a picture of that had a hole in it. Tell me about the painting.
This painting is of a relative of mine.
Great painting, by the way.
Thank you. It's a village blacksmith. It's a family heirloom.
Tell me about the damage to it.
It is museum quality, and I discovered that it has a puncture and a rip or a tear in it, and the heavy gold relief frame had been broken off and damaged.
যতবার ভেবেছি ভুলে যাব তোমাকে ততবার স্মৃতিগুলো পিছু ডাকে যতবার ভেবেছি ভুলে যাব তোমাকে ততবার স্মৃতিগুলো পিছু ডাকে ভালোবাসা খুব সহজ ভুলে থাকা নয় প্রেমের নাম নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় প্রেমের নাম নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় মনের জানালাতে ভাবনা তোমার হারানো দিনে ফেরা হয় না কভুয়া মনের জানালাতে ভাবনা তোমার হারানো দিনে ফেরা হয় না কভুয়া করে গেলায় আমার সাথে নিষ্ঠুর অভিনয় প্রেমের নামে নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় প্রেমের নামে নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় বাজবে না কখনো আমায় বলেছিলে সেই তুমি কেমন করে পোহরালে তিলে তিলে বাজবে না কখনো আমায় বলেছিলে সেই তুমি কেমন করে পোহরালে তিলে তিলে কেমন কইরা সোনা রঙ্গ করলা তুমি ক্ষয় প্রেমের নামে নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় প্রেমের নামে নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় যতবার ভেবেছি ভুলে যাব তোমাকে ততবার স্মৃতিগুলো পিছু ডাকে যতবার ভেবেছি ভুলে যাব তোমাকে ততবার স্মৃতিগুলো পিছু ডাকে ভালোবাসা খুব সহজ ভুলে থাকা নয় প্রেমের নাম নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয় প্রেমের নাম নিষ্ঠুরতা দিলে পরিচয়
The house is very messy, to be honest. I smoke cigarettes.
Do you have this water? Who else lives in the house with you? No one.
Cigarette ashtrays, garage outside,
That's so unusual. People usually do just the opposite. Maybe when you graduate, you'll start doing it the other way. Most people take these cigarettes and take them outside. They're telling you you have friends that
কার মায়াতে কলি যাতে মারলি বিষের সুই আমি মরলে কোনো দিনও কাঁদিস না রে তুই কার মায়াতে কলি যাতে মারলি বিষের সুই আমি মরলে কোনো দিনও কাঁদিস না রে তুই জীবনটা আজ কষ্টের জেলে হয়ে গেছে বন্দি দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী
somebody else's house. It's outrageous to treat somebody else's house with such disrespect. You're 27 years old. Your parents should be very proud of you. Very, very proud of you. You're on the 10-year plan. You'll never grow up as long as somebody else is footing the bill.
এই জীবনের মায়া ছাইরা ভালোবাসি তোরে তোর মায়াটাই কলিজাটা খাচ্ছে কুরে কুরে এই জীবনের মায়া ছাইরা ভালোবাসি তোরে তোর মায়াটাই কলিজাটা খাচ্ছে কুরে কুরে তোর লাগিয়া আজ আমি প্রতিটা দিন কান্দে দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী ভালোবাসার প্রতি আমার নাই রে কোনো বিশ্বাস বেঁচে যেতাম ফুরাই গেলে আমার দেহের নিঃশ্বাস ভালোবাসার প্রতি আমার নাই রে কোনো বিশ্বাস বেঁচে যেতাম ফুরাই গেলে আমার দেহের নিঃশ্বাস কেমন করে ভাবলি আমায় চির প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বী দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী কার মায়াতে কলি যাতে মারলি বিষের সুই আমি মরলে কোনো দিনও কাঁদিস না রে তুই কার মায়াতে কলিজাতে মারলি বিষের সুই আমি মরলে কোনোদিনও কাঁদিস না রে তুই জীবনটা আজ কষ্টের জেলে হয়ে গেছে বন্দি দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী দুঃখ কষ্ট এখন আমার নিত্যদিনের সঙ্গী
Yes, 2 of them.
When?
The 3rd week of July.
So practically as soon as you moved in. When did you move out?
The 29th of July.
So you stayed a very short time.
Correct.
And according to what I read, you had a falling out over childcare and what you were doing. According to the defendant, you were having a little too good a party time. Now, you said that you left a valuable ring there when you left. Where did you leave the ring?
In the kitchen.
You leave it there by mistake?
Yes.
Who did you give it to at work?
A woman named Maxine.
You know that person?
Yes.
Did she give you the ring?
Yes.
So you have the ring?
The reason why I have the ring is because I called her, she didn't answer her phone, so I text messaged her.
I don't care. You have the ring? Maxine gave you the ring? Good. Then that's all I care about. What other property did you leave there?
An entertainment center, a dresser, a chest, a mirror.
Furniture?
Yes.
What'd you do with the furniture?
I threw most of it away.
Why?
Because she left it at my house, Your Honor, and she never answered the phone anytime I called her. She would text me back, never calling me back, saying that she would come the next week to pick up the furniture. She never did. I have phone records that show that I've called her, and all these phone records show that she hasn't called me once, except for on the 29th of October when Henry had called her and told her we were coming to pick up my stuff. And she hung up the phone on him.
29th of October?
Yes, but I have phone records that show that I've called her on the 15th of August when she hung up on me.
8:15.
And 8:23 I called her 3 different times.
8:23. Did you speak to her on any of those occasions?
I left her a message. The reason why she...
Just a second. You didn't speak to... Were you all working at the same place?
Yes, but that Friday she had quit working there.
Well, then you weren't working at the same place. 3rd.
No.
August 15th.
No.
Okay. So August, we go into September, we go into the entire month of October. Why didn't you sue her for the return of your property?
Because every time I tried to call her, it was a matter of when my brother could take me to get my stuff. And she told me the only way I could get my stuff back, she wanted me to pay her $150 for staying there, $40 for using her perfume, and what was it, $100 for something else.
So she told you that?
Yes, she text messaged me that.
Just a sec. So she told you that as far as she was concerned, you owed her for rent.
Correct. That's correct.
And I don't know about the perfume. I have no idea about the perfume. But you owed her for rent.
Correct.
And she was keeping your property.
Correct.
Until you paid her for rent.
Correct.
When was that text message?
That was on the 20th of August.
Well, then you knew on the 20th of August that you weren't going to get your furniture back until you paid rent.
Okay.
And you waited 2.5 months after that to sue her for your property.
Okay.
Well, that's unreasonable.
She was actually telling other people that she...
You can't tell me what she told other people.
Okay, well,
that's
she has
hearsay.
the dressers and stuff. She said she was going to keep that for her children.
That's hearsay.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask her where all the stuff is.
Okay.
And she's going to tell me. Is your father here?
Yes, he's right there.
Step up, please. Your last name is?
Levy, same.
Mr. Levy, the second part of your daughter's lawsuit is that when you called Miss Amrit about, I gather, this furniture,
Right.
she said something about your daughter. When did you call her?
It was in August. My
No.
son. Well,
That was in October. Called her.
is that late?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I left a message on her answer machine because my wife was calling and calling, and I didn't want to get involved. And my wife was calling her and never getting an answer.
I'm talking about you, sir.
All right. What happened was she called me back after I left a message on her answer machine. Once she called me back, I said, "Where's the furniture?" She said, "I don't have it anymore. I gave it away."
Well, that's not true. Miss Amrit didn't do that. You didn't give away all the furniture. You didn't dispose of all... Miss Amrit, look at me. You didn't dispose of all the furniture. Some of the furniture you still have. Is this your child?
Yes.
You don't want to lie in front of your child, do you?
No.
You still have some of the furniture.
No, Your Honor.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And that's a very bad thing to fib in front of your daughter. I don't believe people just give away stuff. You may have sold it.
Oh, well, correct, Your Honor. Some
What?
of it, yes, Your Honor.
Oh, well, that's a different story than threw it away. Sold it is a different story. Who did you sell it to?
A gentleman that I know.
Whose name is?
His name is Lemuel.
Usually people have two names.
Is his last name.
And how much did you sell the furniture for?
$200, Your Honor.
Did he purchase all the furniture?
No, not all of it.
What did he purchase?
He purchased a black entertainment center.
What else?
That was it.
What about the 2 chests?
The 2 chests?
The 2 chests. So I asked the questions, you answer me, Miss Amrit. Where are the 2 chests?
They're no longer at my house, Your Honor.
Miss Amrit, don't play with me. Where are they?
I threw them away, Your Honor. I had a truck come and take them away.
I don't think I believe you. See, you lie once, you get caught in a fib once. Okay, I'd like you to tell me what she said to you about your daughter's behavior.
Right.
Your daughter is also suing for slander.
What happened was, after she told me about the furniture, she said, I had to get your daughter out of the house because she was using cocaine in the house in front of my kids. And I know that doesn't happen because, you know, I'm back and forth with my daughter. I'm raising 2 of the kids. And during the summer, I had all 4 most of the time. And I see her all week.
You think she listens to you?
My daughter? No, I know that. She don't always listen.
I have a drug
but
test.
I could tell if she's high on drugs, especially cocaine. And she took a voluntary drug test.
Yeah, I took a voluntary drug test.
Did you take a hair follicle test?
No, this is just
an
observed.
Shh, listen to me. Did you take a hair follicle test? You took a urine test?
Correct.
Listen, Miss Levy, I've been in the business a long time. You want to do a hair follicle test?
That's fine.
Fine. Do a hair follicle test. That part of your lawsuit that has to do with slander and drugs, I'll hold in abeyance.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay? That'll tell you within the last year whether you've used any drugs and what kind of drugs you've used.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. You understand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now you can sit down.
All right.
Talk to your daughter about birth control. That would be useful.
It's fixed.
Miss Amrit, you can't dispose of her property as cavalierly as you did. I believe you were annoyed that she had not given you any money, that she used some of your property, that the whole business was an unpleasant experience. So I believe that what you did was you sold some of it, maybe you kept some, maybe you gave some to your relatives, maybe you sold some for your relatives. You can't do that. Can I see the bills for the furniture, please?
Yes. That, and then I have this. And the couch and the high chair I have pictures of. I don't have a receipt for that.
What'd you do with the sofa?
I threw it away. It was awful.
Carson's Furniture and Bedding, is this all the stuff that you bought?
The ones that are checked on the side, the dresser, the mirror, the entertainment center.
A dresser, mirror, and a 4-door chest, is that right?
Yes, and the entertainment center.
All this property was purchased, the delivery date was February 2005. So what you're telling me is you gave away a mirror that was new, a 4-door chest that was new, and you sold an entertainment center. Is that what you're telling me?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Now, did you have any sort of an agreement with her to pay rent?
No.
Tell me about the agreement that you say you had for rent.
Your Honor, I'm a single mother. I explained to Miss Levy that I could not afford to support anyone else in my home, so she would have to pay something to me for rent. We agreed upon $150 a week for everything, Your Honor.
You mean food? Who would shop?
Correct.
Excuse me, I bought $200 worth of groceries a week before I left, so the groceries were paid for.
Okay, Ms. Amber, you owe her $606. You can't dispose of her property. You can't sell her property. I believe that her family tried to contact you. I believe that you didn't want to be contacted.
That's not...
unless you have a bill to show me of the truck that you hired to come and dispose of her property, other than the entertainment center, which you acknowledge that you told, I don't believe that you hired a truck to come and take the property out of your garage. Do you understand? And I wouldn't fib in front of my child. It's not a good thing. That's all. Step out.
Annie Linares is suing her former friend, Jamil Rivera, for the remaining payments on a 2005 Nissan Altima.
Ms. Linares, you purchased a car. Shortly after you purchased the car, you realized you couldn't afford the car. Something happened with your job. I don't know. Mr. Rivera was a friend of yours. He had a very expensive car that he was renting, and so you worked out an agreement with him that he would take over the payments on your car and he would drive it. And within a period of time, a year or so, he would get a loan in his own name, put the car in his name, and you would be out of the debt that you had on the car. According to your complaint, Mr. Rivera paid for a while, then stopped paying, and the car was repossessed. You want the money that it will take to get the car back from the finance company.
That is correct.
Mr. Rivera says he was merely helping you out and you were going to lose the car anyway.
That is correct, Your
What kind of car is it?
It's a Nissan Altima 2005 Touring Series.
What were the monthly payments on the car?
$491.05.
How many payments did you make on the car?
I bought it in April. My first payment was in June, and I paid July and August and September.
And then Mr. Rivera took over?
That is correct.
What month did you take the car?
On July.
What month did you make your first payment?
On July.
She said she made 4 payments. She paid June, July, August, and September. She made 4 payments.
No, she didn't.
You have proof that you made 4 payments?
I made payments with my check for the car. The time he took the car was in September, and I recall it very well, Jamil, because my daughter's birthday was September 22nd.
Listen to me. Don't talk to him. Okay? Talk to me. Let's say you took the car in September. When did you stop making payments on the car?
Stop making payments around May.
Did you make all of the payments consistently? Because she has all the paperwork. So did you make all the payments consistently from September of '04, at least, until May of '05?
Yes, Your Honor. There were some of them were late.
How late?
A month.
Well, that's a lot late. That's not
correct,
late. Late is a day or 2 or maybe a week. Late is not when you have to double up payments.
Correct.
You bring me proof that you made those payments?
No, I don't have the proofs right now because I was rushed to the airport.
What are you kidding me? If you don't have proof, sir, it doesn't exist. What you do is when you know you're being sued, you gather up all your stuff and you don't go to court until you have it. When were you notified of your court appearance, sir?
Approximately 2 weeks ago.
So I'm going to repeat again, Mr. Rivera. If you don't have the proof that you paid from September '04 until May of '05, it doesn't exist. When did he stop making payments?
The last payment was made on May of '05 for $900. And the check of June and July bounced.
So when did you last have the car in your possession?
In November '05.
Well, if you last made a payment, according to you, in May of '05, what were you doing with the car in your possession in November of '05?
At that time, I did call the company, and I called the dealership as well.
I don't care if you called the king of pro. What were you doing with the car in your possession, sir, if you didn't make payments May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months? You had the car and didn't make a payment.
Go ahead, Jamil, explain to her.
Mr. Linares, if you talk out of turn again, I'm going to throw you out. You want me to do that?
No, ma'am.
Well, I will. I will. You did the wrong thing. Say, I was wrong, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I didn't do the right thing to her because we had an agreement and I didn't follow through with my agreement, and there was no excuse for it because if I couldn't afford the car, I should have returned it to her in May.
Well, she acknowledged that.
Listen to me. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. If I couldn't afford the car, I should have returned it to her in May.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's better. Now, how much do they want now for you to get the car back?
They want the 6 months that are
That's
owed.
$29.46.
They want the late fees, delinquency, and collection charges.
You have a paper from them? You driving another car now, Mr. Rivera?
At this point, yes.
What kind of car are you driving now?
It's just a Honda Passport.
Where'd you get it from?
It's just a car that I lent from a family member.
What kind of work do you do?
I work in a bank right now.
In a bank? Doing what?
Ma'am. Financial advisor.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a national bank?
Yes, ma'am.
There that you work in a bank, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,700. Thank you. That's all.
Bodies are excused. You may step out.